May, June, 1863. Robert E. Lee is in command of the Confederate forces. Union forces are under command of Fighting Joe Hooker, the latest general to take over. Outside of Chancellorsville, Jackson has his men on the move because Lee has split his forces. A bold move. The cavalry, Union cavalry, knows something's up, but they don't know exactly what. The 11th Corps under Howard has set down. They're actually starting to cook their dinner. They're opening up rations. They're boiling coffee. And the first inclination that something's wrong to the Union infantry is that all the forest creatures, foxes, rabbits, and whatnot, come tearing out of the woods straight at them. That means something very big is on the other side of the woods. Now, just to let you know what's going to happen, Confederates are going to hit, the Union will be pushed back, they'll fight back and forth for the field, and when the bugle sounds, that will be the end of the shooting. But some of the guys could be persuaded to let you take their ladies for a bit of a dance, if you're so inclined. Okay? It is possible. No pressure, only if you'd like to. And only if the guys don't have to go home. Some of us have a long way to go. So that's the basics of what's going to happen. Do you have any questions at this time about anything of the war at this point?
Had a question.
Yes, young man.
Why did the Union soldiers carry the normal United States flag when the Confederates?
Good question. Why did the Union carry the stars and stripes and the Confederates did not? The Confederates left. What grade are you in, son? Grade 3, okay. In your 3rd grade class, you guys develop a little flag. Let's say it's got a picture of your school on it and everybody in it. But half of your class decides they want to go to a different classroom. They leave. Are they going to take your old school, your old classroom flag? No, they're going to make their own. But these guys want them to come back. So they're going to keep it. That's why. Does that answer your question, lad? Okay, that was a good question. Thank you. Anybody else? Come on, adults. The kids have got you whooped so far. Anybody, anything. Come on, there's 5 years worth of war we're talking about here.
Well, that was the question I was going to ask. How long was this war? But I guess you just answered it. So.
1861, 1865. There you go. So far, the edge still goes to the kids. They got the better question. I'll give you half credit for that one. 1 point for the kids. Any other questions, kids? Anything else? Yes, young lady.
How do they make food?
How do they make food? They made food the same way we make food. You take the cold food, you put it on the hot pans, you heat it up. What did they eat? Better question. They would eat things called hardtack, which is a very, very hard biscuit. I bit in one today. It actually cut my mouth. It is made of flour, water, salt, heat, and hatred, according to our officers. I agree. And this stuff would stay good as it could be, for long periods of time. So it didn't matter when it got shipped to the men, they could eat it. They drank a lot of coffee when they could get it. Coffee rations were issued out. The Union was better supplied. They had wheat for bread, and they had beef, whereas the Confederates ate a lot of pork and corn, which is nutritionally inferior. So even though at the beginning of the war, the Confederates were in good shape and could outwalk the Union, which primarily came from cities that were not as robust. By the end of the war, due to lack of nutrition, the Confederates were actually in poorer health. And that really did help because they could only go so far before exhaustion versus the Union, which could actually travel farther. So they would cook out over open fires, or the brigade commissary would cook en masse for the men. Okay? Does that answer your question? 2 points for the kids, half a point for the adults. Come on, guys. Oh, she's doubling down. Yes.
How come the men are in pigtails and the rest are in blue?
Why are there 2 sets of uniforms? Good question. Parents, take notes. The guys in green are with a special unit called the Brigade Shooters. Uh-oh, we'll have to take this up later.
Fire.
No bullets.
No bullets.
when they start to advance, because I don't want to get any closer to the
Where's Davy Crockett and Daniel Boone? Not one. and
his
Errol
uncle.
Flynn.
His uncle used to do this. Trying, yeah.
And what's the other one? There's the part. Daniel Boone, Errol Flynn, another one. I'm missing one.
Yeah, but Errol Flynn was like his Hollywood.
I just read him.
I know that's what we're waiting for. Open toys. I think that's what we're trying to open toys. His uncle.
Have they got a nearby cemetery?
Right around the corner where we
got a
are.
dragon ship there, right? They're a little more weighty.
Oh, here they come.
Look behind you.
The same side.
Good reinforcements. All right.
11th Corps caught by surprise. They were sitting down from here.
So good guys, bad guys.
So they can push the flash and into their dinners. And you want them to push them.
Yep.
So the men did push them through the back, and then the courage men
Folks, they hold the line between Justin Trudeau and this is our over that.
Yeah. He said, he goes, well, let's look at a picture of Trudeau and this when you shoot the kid. Yeah.
Down! Oh! Shot the straight.
I even had her laughing, see?
Right.
I think they're getting ready for the toy box.
Write it out. Write it out.
No, I would let you die. I wanted the casket.
Helping you on fire on skirmishers. Fire.
Yes. Yeah, but it's the stuff like in Fort Henry that they pack in it.
One side.
Company, hold.
Man's fire. Fire. Fire well.
Now you can get close up. You guys are anxious to shoot.
Let's give those blueberries a southern welcome.
Get now, boys. Get now.
The hell you doing in Nashville? That was.
It is so Willie Nelson. He wouldn't be getting excited at all. He's well preserved.
No one saw that, right?
I think it's right there.
Oh yeah, it's just a little puff. More powder.
There's John Cash.
Help me. Help. On the line.
Smell that
Load.
Yeah, it's not really
Holy. That's a body.
Company advance.
Look at the O-ring.
That's a talented cannon. Now she's getting my sarcasm, right?
No, I think she's got her own and she's nailed it.
Right here.
No, I was talking.
Cone of fire. No.
You guys should have shields.
You guys have
Yeah, I see that.
Oh, wait a minute. We always do this when I'm not ready. Wasn't this smooth? I knew it. Someone's going to do it.
I got my it's paid out. There you go, honey.
See? Like really they just did what I did. I think it's real.
Well, they said when we were down in the States in Gettysburg, they were saying in all the wars, more people died in Civil War than any other war. And starvation.
Thank God, what have I got?
I just made them up something. We're in 2023. It's the mullet that we got from the movie. No, I would have started.
Ready? Volley Gun. Just go to prepare mode. Ready? Nope. Andre, prepare mode. Prepare mode when okay.
We'll work on snake oil. Yep.
Artillery! Fire!
Fire!
Retire! Company will fire on skirmishers. Commence fire!
Oh, they're going back to have dinner.
I was going to say they didn't like that.
Two people down. And one can't at least have three.
Didn't we used to get home guns first, though, and the river? No.
shot.
Let's go. Get out of here. What's wrong with the hell?
There's the guy with the mullet, please.
No, you know.
Well done, guys.
The guy with the mullet. Yeah, I've always heard him.
He shot a duck.
This sounds like the shooting range. Stuff the vocals, the Otterville shooting.
This one's left, this one.
That's all we heard this morning. Yes.
How did they get across the border?
Water. Anybody got water? Water.
Randy.
Oh, thanks, man.
Randy.
The dead shall rise. It's a miracle. What did I
Five shots within an inch of the bullseye at 200 yards. If you didn't, you were not accepted. So they were given green uniforms and often put off on the sides. In fact, who here has seen the movie Gettysburg? Anyone seen the movie? Good. It was terrible. It wasn't totally terrible. They got most of it right. But Battle of Little Round Top, which was featured, they showed the 20th Maine charging down the hill into Alabama Church. What they do not show was the contribution of Company B to the left with the sharpshooters. So when the troops were coming up trying to go around them, they kept getting hit with sniper fire, picking off their officers and non-commissioned officers. And when they charged down the hill with their bayonets, the Alabama troops were ready for them. And as they saw them coming, ready, aim, and sharpshooters started picking them off. Run. So they were given special rifles with special scopes. Does that answer your question? Good. Yes, young lady.
Did she have to wear space?
It hurts. That's actually a very good question, because could you really hear the command firing at each other? Could you really hear what they're saying? No. Now add that by about 100. There's 100 men in a company, all firing at the same time. Drummers were used to relay commands. Burdump, ready. Burdump, aim, pump, 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 fire. When the man could not over yell the noise, they used the drummer. So drummer boys were targets. If you could shoot the drummer boy, the unit would stop fighting as a cohesive unit sometimes. And sometimes, if there was more than one, the drummer boys would leave their drums behind and act as stretcher bearers. They'd have to run in, pick guys up, and carry 150-pound men back to camp. Now, you're 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old. You think two 12-year-olds could pick up a 150-pound man and carry him back 2 miles? That's what they had to do. That's a very good question, young lady. Please, parents, I teach and I gotta say, these are a lot like my kids. They're doing well, but the parents are just not getting involved.
Maybe we have to go back to school.
I'm sorry?
Maybe we have to go back to school.
I try not to think about that. Any other questions? No?
Now the color of the red, is that a special?
No, well, in a way, yes, because the guys that are wearing red shirts like that was the shirt worn by the fire brigades of New York, Boston, Philadelphia. All right, they had special red shirts. So they would sign up en masse and wear their red shirts under their tunics. Now, one general, General Ewell, actually was famous for wearing that red shirt into battle. Although we have no documented evidence to know it all the time, we do know he did it from time to time. Parents are kind of crawl back in here, but we have another question. Yes, sir.
How come like they all left?
Because these guys started killing them all. What happened at actual Chancellorsville was exactly that. Jackson's men pushed forward, pushed Howard toward back. Howard was incensed that his men gave up their position, rallied them, formed more men, and then it was just a simple case of numbers. So do you play the game Red Rover or British Bulldog? No? Okay. Yes? Okay.
Point for parents. Yeah.
Half point. She asked the question. So what would happen is very simple. Imagine you want to get to the chocolate bar aisle, okay? And there are 5 of you and 2 of them. Do you think you can get all your friends through? You've got 5, they've got 2. Can you get most of your friends through the chocolate bars? Right, so you start moving forward. Hey, we want to protect our chocolate bars. And they call their friends for it. Now 8 of them have joined the 2. Now it's 10 against 5. You like your odds now? No, and that's exactly what happened. Howard and his men then regrouped. More regiments came into line. And Jackson's attacking troops, who they are taking casualties, find themselves outnumbered. And they got pushed back. So then they had more men come forward. Back and forth and back and forth until they run out of daylight. In the end, the South considered it a win because the Union gave up the field. But the Union Army was still well intact. And it was the beginning of the War of Attrition. And that is where the Union had a distinct advantage. They had more people to draw from. And it wasn't until Gettysburg that they turned the tide a month later. However, one significant casualty was General Jackson himself. He was riding out ahead to scout the lines, as he tended to do. Coming back to his own camp, he challenged him, mistook him for a Union man, and shot him. General Jackson lost his left arm. General Lee said, "You have lost your left arm, I have lost my right." Him out of action. He died. Within weeks, General Ewell takes over Jackson's division. Jackson's brigade.
I think we got some recruits over here, officer.
They're asking more about Union. Sorry, pal.
That's always the way.
Well, just like anybody, just like any other chain of command, the person right under him in rank would step up and take over. That's why it's important for them to pass information down. And generals work there. They led from the front, for the most part.
Left.
There would often be one drummer boy per company. So a company being approximately
Right. 5 files left. March.
Stacy, can you go get Gail?
Any other questions? If they fit, what happens if they fit? Yeah, you know what they take from that? Yeah, I didn't even arrest them. They can get in prison for silly. Or you do it as an entire regiment. Take a charge. This is Virginians going up the slope.
Are you okay with just wait a bit till they get out of here and then we can bring it back?
Just wanted to know when.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's usually like an hour. Because it all depends on the